It's true. It's true.
Sheriff, remember, stay tantalizing.
Guys, you ain't gonna believe this. World's strongest man is hanging out with tantalizing Tony. QR code. Stay tantalizing.
Yes, world's strongest man, baby. Let's go. Do what I do best, and that's stay tantalizing. Look at that! Look at that! Look at that opening! Look at that! That was legit, bro.
I love the Mark Henry face.
Yes, of course. What's up, everybody? It's me, your boy, the Tantalizing One, back once again with somebody from the Shire, my man, the Giant Killer, Frodo Baggins himself, Paul Loria. Paul, it looks like it's going to be a tag match with no partners and no opponents. Because
am I surprised that Bates didn't show up? Not at all. He's usually like this when he has to go against me.
Listen, bro, here's the thing. Even though you lost the match last week, it's cool. You know, I was with you, but let me just say this to you, bro. Kevin right now is doing something that my people do. He's running fashionably late. I'm just saying.
He's always fashionably late.
So listen, let's just do a little rundown of what's going on here. We're doing a can you help me out? We're doing a what are we doing exactly? Let's be honest here. I was sleeping all week, so I don't know what's going on. I'm joking. What's going on?
Since Kevin beat me in the debate last week, he was the winner. I conceded. He beat me. He wants to flip the script. So Kevin came up with his top 5 AEW wrestlers that he believes would be better utilized in the WWE this time. And basically, I'm probably just going to disagree with him on everything for the most part. Because honestly, my fear is that I think AEW is doing the best possible job they can with, I would say, a majority of their talent. That I don't know that anybody would be better off in AEW, in WWE. So it'll be really interesting. I don't know who his picks are. So we're going to find out when he shows up and whoever those picks might be. And we'll discuss it from there.
So, in other words, you're going to say this is Kevin's top 5 AEW talent that would do better if they were wrestlers for the WWE.
Yeah, that's the way.
And basically, you're going to agree or disagree, basically.
Most likely disagree.
I agree with that. So first, let's talk to everybody in the nation of Nation. What's up there, Matt Riddle, if that's your real name? Nick Thompson, what's up? Neek Mill 1, hola. Angel, always good to see you. Hey, Julie. And Hassan Terrell, Baruch Hakadanoy. What's up, everybody? How you doing? If you don't know, this is Frodo Baggins himself, the Giant Killer, the Ultimate One, Paul Loria. Now, I got to give him this. Oh, hold on. Joseph Alfeo. Yo, you going to be at GCW New Year's Eve? I will be at GCW New Year's Eve. A little ways away. Let's get the Survivor Series first. Let's get to tonight first. And don't forget, I will be at WrestleCade. Watch this. See if she has a screen. She's blowing it. Ladies and gentlemen. I'll be at WrestleCade November 26th, 27th, and 28th in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Check it out. We'll get more information about that later. But listen. Unshare. She's having mouse problems, guys. Okay, there we go. So listen, in case you guys are confused what's going on, we'll get to all the comments in a minute. One more time, we're gonna start at the top. And forgive me if I'm a little rattled. I literally just drove 30 miles and walked in the door like 4 seconds ago. 3 dogs attacked me, a unicorn, and a mouse. So, Mr. Loria, it happens. Once again, explain to the nation of civilization, the people, what exactly you're doing here, because I am here. But, Kevin, Kevin. Now,
He's good like that.
Yeah, if we're doing this on a point system, sir, you're in the lead right now because at least you're here on time. You know.
That is right. That is correct.
So once again, explain to everybody what's going on. There's no wrestling. Well, there is wrestling on tonight. It's Impact. We're not watching that. This is more important than Impact. Once again, tell the people what's going on, Paul.
All right. So Kevin beat me in a debate last week. According to your followers, they agreed with him over me in our discussion last week. So Kevin has the right to choose his 5 AEW wrestlers that he believes would be better utilized in the WWE. So I'm going to basically dispute most of these. But the most important thing is for the followers to give their opinion of it too, because the idea is that to look at these things from a perspective, you know, and everybody has a different perspective of the business. Everybody has a different perspective of the talents that they like. So it'll be interesting. So Kevin might find somebody that he thinks would do better over there. But maybe one of the followers, myself or you, actually decide no. But the way I see it, maybe it connects with me more. So it'll be a real interesting thing. And that's the whole thing about these debates. It's basically just a matter of perspective. You know, we live in a world now where everybody can voice an opinion on a keypad instantly, whether it's through social media, Twitter, or whatever. Even your followers, they can chime in and they can just throw an opinion, whether they agree or disagree. So I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to make it more understanding that whether we agree or disagree isn't what's important. It's that we see things from a different perspective. So Kevin had 5 picks last week that he thought would be better utilized in AEW. And we had a lot of the same, but I had some different picks. And the idea was just because of the perspective that we see them from right now. You know, when I see somebody, I look at them and maybe I'm looking for star power. Maybe I'm looking for in-ring ability, marketability, whatever it might be, whatever connects with me. So I enjoy those things. So Kevin looks at things differently. The followers look at things differently. So it'll be interesting to see some of these people. If anyone listening and watching right now wants to chime in with, you know, maybe somebody they see on the AEW roster that they believe might be better utilized in the World Wrestling Entertainment, then throw it up there. Let's see what you guys think.
So Matt Riddle had already said Darby Allin, which is a good one, but I was going to pick -1. -1 would be awesome in WWE.
All right, well, let's talk about Matt Riddle's comment. Okay, so a Darby Allin in the world of the WWE. Okay, I could see some great matches on the NXT roster, but I don't know. Do you think the Darby Allin character, the way they're utilizing him in AEW, would be utilized to its most potential in WWE? Or would you have a fear that they're going to water him down? They're going to change the gimmick. They're going to basically regulate it to their liking. I think my thing with AEW is the freedom and the creativity that the workers have. So a Darby Allin is a pretty solid character. And if you've ever listened to any of the Darby Allin podcasts or read anything about Darby Allin, a lot of what he gets from his own personal experiences. The guy had a really in like a legit, genuine, hard upbringing. He was homeless for a while. You know, this stuff isn't just a everyday kid who, you know, mom and dad threw him in wrestling school and now he throws paint on his face. Like, his uncle legitimately died in a car wreck with him in the car. That's why he paints half of his face. So he has a real deep character that I don't know if that were me that I could compromise on the creativity if somebody like a WWE was to say, hey, this is what we want to do. And we want to change the directions and go here, go there, you know, and that's where it boils down to.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And just before we bring Kevin in, because he finally made it, he must have fell in a manhole. But I could see them.
He fell in the gap? Did you say Kevin fell in a gap?
Yeah.
In the gap. Because we have that on video somewhere. Maybe we'll get producer Kira to find that one day where Kevin fell in a gap.
She'll definitely find it.
She's in front of 500 people.
500 people. 501. So, real quick, like I said, before we bring Kevin in, I agree with you 100% that they would totally ruin Darby Allin. They say, okay, listen, what we're gonna do. We're gonna now put you in a suit and tie, and we're gonna take the paint off your face. We're gonna bring you in on a surfboard. You know, they would change him, and that's what they do when you come from somewhere else. They would totally ruin that character. Like I said, they have the creative freedom in AEW to basically take their character and run with it. I think another guy, I'm looking at Kevin's list. I don't want to ruin anybody. I think another guy who would be ruined in WWE's be Eddie Kingston. You know, you send him over there. What do you do with him? You know?
Now, say that again. You broke up on the microphone. Who is that?
Eddie Kingston.
Oh my God, no. Everything about Eddie Kingston is how real he is.
Yeah, he did.
You're gonna script Eddie Kingston, like you
right?
Now, I mentioned this to you earlier off camera. Listen, I think there are certain people that like a Nyla Rose, for instance. Nyla Rose hasn't really. She had a great showing last night. And I think she has a good look, and I think she definitely can work. Maybe she gets a better opportunity in a WWE than maybe AEW does. That's a possibility. I mean, I don't know that it would be that much greater. And again, every time I suggest one of these things, I get that fear that they're going to basically water it down, strip it down, change it all up, and it wouldn't be the same genuine character.
And that's definitely a problem. And this debate's going to be good. And, you know, when you want to have a debate, you have to have two people. I'm just moderating. So to have a debate, you have to have somebody to go against. So where do you go? He was in the waiting room.
Yeah.
Everybody, let's get something straight, okay? This show's on a low budget. Here's one thing I got to say about myself. I'm never cut out. I'm always ready. Even when I'm a little late, I get here and the connection stays good. You know, just for the record, in this room, I'm probably the lowest guy in the tax bracket here, and I got the best internet. I don't know how that works, but hey.
Hey, my question is, am I getting paid more because I'm going to be on the show longer?
Listen, you know, promotional consideration paid for by the following. Right now, you're leading with the money.
I don't even have a state analyzing shirt. That's how messed up this is.
That is true. What are we doing?
Yeah. 30 plus years. And you're going to charge me for the tantalizing shirt.
I would never charge you. I didn't know your size because
you wouldn't charge me full price. You would charge me just not full price.
Hobbits don't grow, so I wasn't sure what size you needed. But now that I know you,
send it to P.O. Box Shire, Middle Earth.
Got you. So you need a medium. Got you.
A small,
medium. So Kevin has some issues with his internet. So let's give him a quick text, see what's going on.
Yeah, it's called Fear.
Look at Julie. Julie says, "Whoa, now this is a good one." Let me touch this one first. Let me tell you why. I think MJF wants to come to WWE. I think he's hinted. If you notice, he hinted it last night. He said in 2024, I guess when his contract's up in AEW, he goes, "I'm going to be the biggest free agent in the history of wrestling." I think MJF is that one exception to the rule that they will let him go. I think he's basically CM Punk 2.0 when it comes to mic skills. And by saying that, I mean that, you know, CM Punk being, you know, who he was back in WWE, he gave him some script and he went off script a lot. I think that you need that loose cannon. You know, that's why I can't understand why they didn't let Dean Ambrose let Jon Moxley just be him. I think he'd have been great as that wild card, that guy who's off the cuff, unscripted, going to get him in trouble. I think that would have been like a little bit of attitude, you know, back to the product. Now, we can't have attitude era due to PG concerns and everything going on in today's climate. You can't hurt anybody's feelings. But, you know, I think MJF would be great. Paul, let's get him in here before something goes wrong, okay? So,
let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, last week's winner of whatever that was, that debacle of a show, you know, this guy, we got kids. I think everybody makes fun that I had a women's bathing suit on. I think Kevin's in the bathtub. Everybody, your friend of mine, the debate champ, Psycho Kevin.
So I did not fall in a manhole.
Okay.
No, you fell in the gap.
I fell in the gap, but I did not fall in a manhole. I don't even think I could fit in a manhole at this point.
Kevin, are you in the bathroom?
No. I'm in the kitchen. Same spot as last time. But so I'll tell you what's been going on.
Are you sure you're not on the toilet right now?
I'm not on the toilet. So look, it's my kitchen. Okay.
Okay.
And there's the
Why do you have a shower curtain in Why do you have a shower in the kitchen?
There's no shower. It's my back door, weirdo. It's the back door.
Now there's a reflection. Shut your curtain. There's a reflection on it.
I was trying to be professional and just have
put the shower curtain on them in there. Put the shower curtain in the living room, in the dining room. I'm just saying.
I was trying to use my son's iPad to see if I got better mic and camera service, and it was worse than anything. And we know my cell phone actually has bad Wi-Fi and mic, and it keeps dropping. So I switched back to my work phone, which held me on the longest last time. So
okay, I appreciate that.
I apologize.
You're fine.
For the lateness.
My
youngest wanted to watch Civil War.
Oh, well, so. That's good. That's going on. So, just before we start, I just want to point out that Paul Laurie is in portrait mode and you are not. I want to say. So,
if I do that.
No, you're cool. You're cool.
I could do this. Please don't. It's totally fine.
Oh, God.
But then you get the close up.
Now I can see the shower curtain.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're fine. So listen, we're going to get this started because people are like, what in the blue heck is going on? So everybody, we're going to do this. This is Kevin's top 5 of current AEW superstars who he feels would do better in the WWE, or as Lori call it, the World Wrestling Entertainment. Yes, Kira?
Are y'all going one by one?
Yes, we're going to do 5 to 1.
Okay.
5 being first and 1 being last. Reverse of what it is. So if his number 5 is there, that's how we do it. So we got some new graphics. We don't know how this is going to work. But we're going to, they can talk over it, right? Okay, so guys, don't panic if you're not on screen. You can still talk over the graphic. We're trying something new. This is new, trying to hear live. So Kevin, start with your number 5.
All right, so Paul and I, we were going back and forth last week, and Paul's very, very much a person who thinks everybody in AEW is the best wrestler in the world and has their star all rising. But I am still under the assumption that the WWE does make star makers, and they have people that will rise to the top, and I think there's some people in AEW that are on that Vince has on his radar. So number 5 is Wardlow. I think Wardlow fits, the same type of with more athleticism, dare I say, than what Diesel was a bodyguard, Psycho Sid was a bodyguard, Batista was a bodyguard. All 3 of those guys were bodyguards for people and ended up becoming world champions, and headlining WrestleManias. So, Wardlow's my number 5. I think eventually he's got a good look. He's very, very fits the WWE physique that Vince is looking for. I know he's paired with the greatest talker in the game right now because there's nobody better on the mic. There's no bigger. There's only one bigger heel right now than MJF in the industry, and I think Wardlow's a stud, and he might be missing out on taking the next level if he went to WWE.
So, Paul, before you rebut, we're going to hit that number 5 one more time. So you're telling me that your number 5 AEW superstar that would be better off in WWE is your number 5 is Wardlow. Okay. So I just want to
That's mine.
Everybody get a chance to look at it. The new graphics, everybody. Kira's invention. I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but I think it's pretty good. There you go. So, Paul, you have his number 5. So let's hear it.
All right. Well, let me start with by saying that I would 100% agree that he's got the look that is probably on some people's radar over in WWE. The limited promos I've seen Wardlow do, I definitely think he lacks in promo ability. And even worse, I don't know how his script reading skills are because he's going to have to read a script. He's not going to do a promo off the cuff over in WWE. So the question is now, does a Wardlow have the ability to cut promos that are intriguing or are going to put asses in seats? The second thing that Kevin mentioned was his athleticism, which to me, to be all honest, is a complete concern of mine in WWE because you look at some of the best looks and bodies in the last, I don't know, few years when it comes to Dominic Dijakovic, Keith Lee. What's the other guy that was in that Retribution group? He's got the long dreadlocks.
Oh, T-Bar and Mace.
Yeah, but so
Dio Madden.
that guy's got a great look.
Dio Madden.
So here's what I'll say. When you take all the guys like that are that athletic, there's very few that are breaking through to the next level. Vince, for some reason, when I see Wardlow, I see Braun Strowman 2.0. I see them creating this
Former
absurd
world
character.
champion.
What?
Former world champion.
Yeah, but he's fired now. It's a scripted gimmick that doesn't always make it. Listen, we could name a lot of former world champions. It doesn't necessarily make them the most utilized wrestlers in the world. I just believe that, again, it's perspective. I see Braun Strowman all over again. I don't think that they utilize him for his athleticism. I definitely worry about his promo skills. But to your point, I also don't think he's being utilized to his potential in AEW. So it's a great call to wonder which side of the fence he'd be on that he'd be better used.
Oh, okay. Two good points. Kevin, you want to come back with a rebuttal for that, and then Paul can finish off. And then after we do that, I want you guys on the side to vote to see on number 5, you agree with Paul or you agree with Kevin? Go ahead, Kevin.
I think Paul made my point. He sees him as a Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman pretty much was a mainstay for about 9 years. He was the guy that, I mean, his star was on the rise. They threw 9 guys in the ring with him at one point in time just so he could beat the crap out of him. And there was probably nothing more fun on Monday Night Raw ever since. He's, so I just, look, can he read a script? I'm sure he didn't get to AEW if he couldn't read. Can he act? Different story. Does he need a catchphrase? Absolutely. Would WWE give him one? Probably if they brought him over. It kind of seems like he's a guy that gets along with everyone, and if you are one of the boys in the back, then you probably are going to get some kind of a push at some point in time. So I think he's got a shit ton of potential, and he might be in MJF's shadow for a little while.
Paul, you want to just close it up on that?
Yeah, I think as we stated earlier before Kevin arrived, we discussed the entire concept being based around perspective, and it's great that Kevin said what he said. My perspective, I was never a Braun fan. The 9 years I saw him, I saw a yo-yo. I saw a push and a pullback, and a push and a pullback. I felt that it was never clicking. I saw like what looked to be force-fed, and then they pull back on him like because it just wasn't working. And again, over the top with the get these hands with the flipping trucks over. Perspective, not really my thing at all. I don't want to see Wardlow do that. I want to see Wardlow definitely make his way outside of MJF in the future. And the beauty of AEW is that we're talking about a company that is 2 years old. So what when we're talking about this 5 years from now, Wardlow and MJF may be in different worlds completely. And an MJF to me has the potential to be in a really good position in an AEW. Again, hoping and praying that maybe one day they really build up a heavyweight division, because they lack it right now. Outside of Lance Archer and outside of, let's assume that Mark Henry and Big Show are not getting in the ring. Billy Gunn, Lance Archer, maybe Chris Jericho, and Wardlow. The bottom line is you have very few large guys, and it's hard. But I hope Wardlow progresses, and I just would like to see it in AEW. I think it would be a mistake to go to WWE.
Somebody just said in the comments, they just said, can you imagine Wardlow going to the WWE with a Val Venus gimmick?
That would be awesome.
It's kind of awesome,
right.
I got to tell you.
If that's your thing, sure.
Hello, ladies. Before we get to who's going to vote for you guys, we got breaking news, and Will Rally Sport put it up there. Tony Storm has taken the spot that Aaliyah lost for Team SmackDown for Survivor Series. So we do get Tony Storm, which I think is I feel bad for Aaliyah, but I don't have a problem with Tony Storm being there. If I was going to boot anybody, I know it's going to sound crappy, I would have booted Natalya. But yeah, I would have booted. I would like to see Aaliyah on that team. But another place, another time. Once again, thank you for Will from I think Australia he's from. Tony Storm now Survivor Series team. All right, so let's vote for either Kevin or Paul on their debate on Wardlow. If you're with Paul, that thinks that he should stay with AEW and build his character more and build his star power there, or Kevin, who thinks he should go there and be the new Val Venus. What do you think, Kevin?
I don't think he should be the new Val Venus, but your fans made a.
It was a joke. I think it was a joke. Yeah. Hello, ladies.
Yeah, it's a good one. I don't know if that would go over nowadays unless Joe Gacy gets a hold of him.
Oh, right.
Hey, listen, I think your number 5 was a great pick. I definitely can't wait to see what your next 4 are going to be, because that was a good call.
So I'll tell you right now, my number 4 is me fantasy booking. I never fantasy book. Go ahead.
Once again, his number 5, in case you guys missed it. Wardlow is the gentleman that Kevin picked that he should go to WWE to maybe be the next Braun Strowman, or possibly, like someone said in the comments, the next hello, ladies, Val Venus.
Now I can't unsee that.
He's going to say this, that he's going to do that impression all night now.
Hello, ladies, because that's all I can. It's not that hard to do. Any votes? Any votes for Kevin or Paul? Because we can come back. Because I'm the tiebreaker. Ravish and wait a minute, Kira. What's his name? You got to speak up. Nobody can hear you.
You want to say it with the roll?
I don't care how you say it. We're live here. This is a professional show. Speak up.
Ravishing Ricky Ramos.
Yes, he should be here. He must have connection issues too. What's SC Williams say? Go down. Tony, are we going to do AEW or should we go to Impact? Oh shit. Man, I'm not going to Impact. No way. Guys, I love the comments, but let's follow instructions just a little bit. If you're going to go with Paul, put Paul. If you go with Kevin, vote for Kevin. You guys heard the debate. Once again, Paul believes that Wardlow would do better in AEW, that he should not go to WWE. Kevin says he would be a star in WWE. So if you want to vote for Paul, say Paul. If you want to vote for Kevin, say Kevin. That's how the show works. Without a vote, we can't move on to number 4. Or I'm going to just say I'm going to make the decision. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds. You got any music for that?
4. Just go to 4.
Oh, 1 vote for Paul. Oh, wait. 1 vote for Kevin. And Kevin Ramos says, Val Venus. Hello, ladies. Okay, so we got 2 for Paul and 1 for Kevin.
I think somebody just said. I think Ramos just said I'm Val Venus, but
Whoa. Is your wife around?
which no, my wife said Dean's play tonight.
Good.
Dean is starring in the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, and he's the vice principal that reads all the dictionary words.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Good luck,
pretty
Dino.
Good luck, Dean. Dean, guys, you got to meet Dean. Dean should be like the Walter Cronkite of everything, you know?
Dean's like a young genius.
Yes, he is. So right now, I'm going to give the 30 more seconds to vote. So right now, Paul leads 2-1. And, you know, you guys can vote. There's more people in the chat.
We don't have like a scoreboard that comes up on your screen?
Yeah, can't we tally this later and just go to number 4?
This guy wants, you know, hey, if you guys want a scoreboard, hit those super chats and those super stickers so we can get some more graphics. All right, so we got Paul. Right now we got Paul 2, Kevin 1. When the music stops, the voting's over. Paul's like, please.
Any redemption.
Can't believe.
It's about power. Sorry. All right, and
It definitely sounds like the beat to that song.
it does.
It's about drive. It's about power. It's about The Rock singing every
Right.
hour on the hour.
So, right now, we have Paul leading.
This is an this is an
2-1.
AEW crowd.
No,
Yeah.
it's
2-1 in the AEW crowd.
2-1. 2-1 is an AEW
killing it.
faction.
You are killing right now. You're killing. Oh, Bobby. Oh, Dimitri Smith. Is he here? He's voting. I just noticed he was here. I thought he was at Applebee's. Just look at him. He's there.
What?
So, listen, I don't know my own kids. No. So right now we got Paul. Paul, you're up. 1-0.
There you go.
Not
All right,
3-1.
let's go to number 4 now.
I will say Will Rally Sport Rally. He basically just said that eventually he's going to turn on MJF and beat him up. So,
Okay.
all right, if that's in the AEW storylines in the future, maybe he's got a shot.
That'll be our fantasy booking segment one day.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we
Go ahead,
lost
Tony.
hope. Tony, hello.
Sorry,
Bueller. You
what's the
there?
matter? Sorry,
Hello,
guys.
McFly.
I know you're not talking,
McFly.
Kevin. You're 8 hours late.
Tony, you realize you have followers from other countries watching you right now.
And they have kids too. Kevin,
Yeah.
you're down now. Do you want to change any of your top ones? Or you good? You good?
No, I'm
You
good. No, I'm going to stick with the
All
list because I don't want to mess with the Kira and the graphics. Paul likes fantasy booking. I think he'll like number 4. I'm sure I'm going to lose number 2, but
Well-
I think 3 and 1 I'll have to rally, but 4 I think I'll end up doing good with.
All right, Kevin, you're number 4. And just so you know, I let this slide since, you know, this is a new kind of show. But this is really 4 and 4.5. But let's go. Don't put it. Guys, explain.
So, Paul, you know, I'm a tag team, phenom. I love the tag team wrestling. And this is my fantasy booking. If I was going to, basically work for WWE as a recruiter, I would hire these 2 guys and put them together as a team. And that is Hobbs and Brian Cage. I think Hobbs has a really good look. Again, another strong body, right? And Brian Cage. I would put them together as Brick and Slaughter, the House Brothers.
That might be worse than a Bates gimmick. Psycho and Master.
Listen.
Oh, that one hurts.
I'm not saying it would stick forever, but knowing what they did with the Bashams and they put a dress on Vito, man. Like, so I think that, Brian Brick Cage and, Slaughterhouse Hobbs, I'm good. Like, bring those guys in. My only reasoning is they tried this with the Authors of Pain. They wanted 2 monsters to dominate while all the other tag teams are working. DIY was a smaller team. FTR was, FTR is my favorite. I think I'm pissed that they missed the boat on them. They keep manufacturing teams just for storylines because it's good TV. Love RKO Bros. Love them.
Yep.
Right? But it's constantly New Day and it's constantly the Usos. I think you need a demolition type team to go in there and just destroy the place. And who better than two monstrous meatheads straight out of the Iron Paradise Gold's Gym, and just, chains around their neck, give them a good manager, give them a good talker, and just go in and beat the piss out of people.
All right, Paul, just the graphics are coming up. We had a little issue with something, but we're going to fix it. Okay, Paul.
All right, well, here's my problem with that. The problem is Hobbs and Brian Cage can work. And what I mean by they can work is that they're professional wrestlers that work. They do not work the big man style. We just saw Keith Lee get released for that exact reason. They took Keith Lee out. They put him on the main roster. They pulled him off the main roster, sent him back for the reason of work like a big man. Now, full disclosure, I personally have never been a fan of the work like a big man mentality. I understand it. I believe there's something special about saving your bump if you're the big man. Don't just bump on everything. I get that. But what I'm talking about is Brian Cage. This guy's pulling off Hurricane Radas. This guy's pulling off really impressive stuff. The guy is a monster that works. I'm not going to say it's a cruiserweight style because he puts a lot of power in his stuff, but he is super agile. He's super talented. He reminds me of Scott Steiner when Scott Steiner first came in, that you didn't expect the guy his size to be doing the stuff he was doing. By no means would I think he's as good as Scott Steiner. But back in the day when you first saw Scott Steiner, you did not expect this guy to be doing flips and Frankensteins and all that stuff. I do not think at all WWE will ever utilize a monster that size. Kev, your idea, which I love, takes all of their ability away, and it makes them just two meatheads going forward to beat people up, which is a good idea. But they're already displaying how good they work. They're getting responses for how good they are. Hobbs, not as much. You might have had me at Hobbs without Brian Cage, but Brian Cage, no way. This guy is just way too athletic and way too talented to be put in a monster role to just go devastate people, because he's not going to be the guy to just go beat people up. He's going to be doing, all his fancy moves that, even his super kicks are really impressive.
But
Guys
that's
like
why
that
I want
super kicks.
Yeah, but that's why you always have, if you pair the teams correctly, you always have the good worker. You always have the good worker and the big man worker, right? It's the Hart Foundation. It's no one was better than Brett, and
but
Jim Neidhart
guys
was
are
a decent
sizes. These two are two monsters. You're talking about Brett being half the size of the Anvil. You're talking about, I know where you're going.
I'm not talking about like Enzo and Cass. You know what I mean? Or Miz Show. I'm talking about you got two guys that look the part, but work that could possibly work being put together because they work differently. And I know that Cage, and that's why I said Cage, because otherwise I thought Hobbs and Wardlow would pretty much have the same style when I came up with this list. But I think Cage can work. I agree with you. And I think Hobbs is an okay worker, but I think Cage is the one that's going to take, he's going to take the heat if they're a face team. And,
and you want them as faces?
No. I don't care.
If
they're going out, if you know the crowd right now, if they are going out and beating the piss out of somebody every night, and they come up with some sick double team finisher like 3D or Doomsday Device that people want to see, they're gonna get over. And if they get over, they're going face. You didn't think the Usos were ever going to go face or go heel. You didn't think New Day was going to flip, when they first started out. The crowd dictates how they're going to get, if they're over or not.
I don't know. Like I said, I think you're taking away their strongest suit, which is their athleticism. You're taking that away to make them monsters. And then neither one of them can speak, so you got to put them with a manager, but again, not part of your equation, but they would have to have a manager, which is why they're with Taz. Well, they were with Taz. Cage isn't there anymore. Brian Cage might be one of the worst talents on a microphone in AEW. So, yeah, I'm definitely not feeling that one. Yeah, I definitely went the other way on that. You're taking away all their positive attributes.
I'm actually doing exactly what you did as a booker. You don't give the guy if you don't think the guy can talk on the mic, you get him a manager, or you don't give him the mic.
You didn't say manager.
I did say manager. This is on video. It could rewind if you give him the
videotape.
This is live.
I know, but we can watch.
Right.
We can watch it after. He'll say.
All right.
So
everyone vote. Everyone vote for Bates, please.
So the voting already started. Without me telling them. So if you think Paul is right about this one, we already got a Paul vote, and we have none for Kevin, and Nick wants nothing to be on tomorrow. Yes, it's Friday. SmackDown and Rampage. Just for the record,
Bone Crushers. I like that.
The Bone Crushers, yeah.
Bone
you got that now, Will?
Ready?
Hello, ladies. Hello, ladies.
All night. All night.
Hello, ladies.
That's not going away anytime soon.
Oh, Randy Sam. That's 2 for Paul. Oh, what is this? Mark Queen should go to Charisma and ring person. Mark should go, what? And he has a Charisma. He can go to the ring. Mark Queen. What? Who?
Mark Quinn. I think it was Isaiah Cassidy. They were trained by Amazing Red.
Okay. Oh, I like that.
I didn't read it. What was it?
He said he should go to WWE because he has a charisma and he has a personality. Reminds him of a young K Quick, R-Truth. He loves R-Truth.
All right, well, let's see. Maybe Kevin's got him in his top 3.
No.
Maybe. So that's 2 for Paul already. And what's up, Jason?
I think Paul's got 2 votes. I think, this is really starting to turn into Paul's a baby face, and everyone's going to vote for him, and I'm just going to go complete heel.
I don't know.
Not a babyface thing. It's accentuating their strengths. They're very athletic. You wanted to put them in spiked collars like the Pitbull and have them run over everybody, and then not speak. You took everything away from them.
I didn't take everything away from them. I gave them to the WWE. I gave them to WWE to change them and turn them into a monster tag team that becomes another 8-time tag team champion that, sells a shit ton of merchandise.
I think that speaking of merchandise, they would look great on an 8x10, and that would be the extent of it.
Oh, we got a tie now. So now we got 1-1. Chrissy, a.k.a. Ramos Mahoney family, has voted for Kevin. And we got Paul right here from sorry, that was last time. Sorry. Right here. So we have 1 for Paul and 1 for Kevin. So number 5, Paul won, and number 4 we're tied 1-1. So let's give another minute.
A minute of this music again.
No, we'll cut it. But listen,
can I refill my water? Let me go refill my water. You two talk amongst yourselves.
In the meantime, we'll take care of some business. Don't forget that I'll be going to WrestleCade November 26th, 27th, 28th in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, with my good friend. Well, he will be Tuco Scorpio. Who I'm going to be with all weekend. Who I am.
I'll be stalking him until he follows me and watches the.
Well, I'm sponsoring him, and we'll be at the same table. So he's actually at my table. But I have his photos right here. These are his 8.5 by 11s.
Do you have any Flash Funk ones?
I do not. You know what? I was gonna do Flash Funk, but I wasn't sure if I would get in trouble because of WWE, so I didn't do it. But I want to shout out Tim Odell, who got these photos done for me. I'll give you his information. The guy does great by 10s. Also, I got these done as well. I got 150 of each. These will be selling at the convention, autographed. Price to be determined later, but I'm going to make my money back. And of course, I'm going to put myself over too. I will be giving these away as promotional deals. But the Tantalizing one, your YouTube champion, and the TWF champion has an 8x10 as well. I'm looking at them svelte right there, very svelte. All right, so we got back to the voting. So let's see. Paul, I said too early. Should have put now Paul. Okay. I got Kevin. I agreed. I'm sorry. I love Kevin. Right, we need to bring the believable monster in wrestling in. I love cruiserweight because of Ray, but we need that monster in wrestling. Okay. We'll get back to that question in a minute. Chrissy, good question, but Paul was also right. Man, you're talking the mic so it's thin. And thin, sorry. I got you. Get it thin. Sorry, Tony. I got it. So, okay. Oh, Jason says Impact Wrestling next for this for Tony. Who on Impact should go to AEW? We can do that. To me, that's not a bad idea. But we'll talk about that later. So right now we got Paul, Kevin 1. We got Paul, Kevin 2-2. We got so we're 2-2. I'm gonna give you guys 30 seconds to break this tie, or I'm gonna break it. And I'd rather not break it because then people are gonna be hurt. Tony, oh, he's friends with this one. Oh, your friends, oh, you didn't put me over. Like, neither one of you ever put me over, so I don't want to hear it. Let's get to a question. Do you believe WWE will last a while or be gone soon? It's never going away.
It's not going anywhere.
Ever. Kira, what do you think? So
it's not going anywhere.
So the number 4 was right here, Kira. What do you think about this? Oh, sorry, guys.
Yeah, Kira, what do you think?
What do you think about this Wardlow? Brian Cage and Powerhouse Hobbs. Now, they used to be in Team Taz, and now Brian Cage is on his own. He's no longer the FTW champion. But what do you think about these two as a tag? Would they be good in WWE? Could you see them being the SmackDown or Raw tag team champions? Let's see what Kira has to say about this one.
Well, I haven't seen either of these guys in the ring, so going off of looks alone, I would say they'd be a good match for WWE because Vince likes to put big guys on screen.
Yeah, what I said. They look good in an 8x10. That's it. That's everything they've got going for themselves.
You mean a 10 by
WWE.
you mean a 10x10 ring?
It's a 20x20. And
It's
speaking of
20x20 in WWE. No one has a 10x10.
And speaking of 8x10s, hey, my 8x10's right here. 10 Lives and Tony. Check me out at WrestleCade. We got another vote for Paul and Kevin Flynn. Who is this guy? Can't vote for yourself there, Flynn.
What?
You voted for. Look at this. This guy's a genius. He gets my vote.
Times are getting desperate.
I got another vote. Ricky voted for me.
You did. Ricky
I got
voted.
Kira and Ricky. I think I won that one. We should move on.
You're not even close.
Yeah, who'd you vote for on that one?
No, I didn't vote.
Well, maybe you're tied. They're tied.
Okay, then I vote for who said they'd be good in WWE.
Me.
I don't know, because if they're good wrestlers, then they should stay in AEW.
So she doesn't have enough. She doesn't have enough information to make the determination.
But she said they would look good. And then Paul kind of deflected her. And
I got you. Well, we're not gonna make her a
Called
factor.
politicking.
It is called politicking. So let me break the tie. So we all know that I'm a Mark, okay, and
Shocking. Breaking news.
Does he have a show? See how I did that right there? See how I did that right there? Okay, the mouse
I see the way this is going.
The mouse is mightier than the sword. So listen, Paul, you had some great points. I definitely agree with you. If they were to keep them in AEW, what they could do with the big man factor, but on look alone, Vince would be salivating and make them tag team champions.
Yeah, but what happens when you put them in the ring or you hand them a script? What happens when they actually go to work?
Vince doesn't care about that, and that's the problem.
Yes, he does. Why do you think he fired Keith Lee?
He fired Keith Lee because of other issues behind it. And that's another. We can talk about that another
No, don't even try it.
If you go
Why did he fire Karrion Kross?
Because he gave him like weird fetish clothes and took his wife away from him.
He did take his wife away.
Which is the stupidest. The shitty writers have just completely.
So you're gonna love it when Brian Cage comes in with a big rubber helmet on his head, looking like a Trojan warrior. and then Will Hobbs comes in. You're gonna love that look. It's gonna.
I think they both.
WWE.
Nah, I don't think
I'm
that's
looking at
happening.
this from a fan standpoint, marketing, and what kids will see. Kids will see these two big monsters together in the WWE. They would go run over the New Day. They could smash the Usos. What are the tag teams they really have? They would beat up on Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode.
Oh
These
yeah,
guys
there's a great idea. Who hasn't done that?
Listen, I know I get your point, but what I'm saying is if you're thinking the aspects of what they look like and how they're marketable, these are two huge, massive guys.
No, my point to you is I agree 100% that they are marketable, but that's
Right.
all they have.
But they're
Their
more
strengths
marketable.
are inside the ropes, and
But
that's
they're-
what WWE will take away.
Not disagree with you, but marketability wise, if you're going to say where would they make the most money,
what's up?
they make more in WWE. And Kevin gets my vote. I break the tie. Sorry, Paul. It's 1-1. Kevin
You're
won.
racist.
Paul
That's a
won.
racist thing you just did right there.
It is true. I am. I hate Frodo. I hate hobbits, little bastards. So it's now 1-1.
And I got 3 votes on that one.
You did. You did get 3 votes. So
I
Kevin,
would
You
call
didn't break
Phil.
a tie. You tied it.
no. It was tied 3-3.
I don't know, but if he is, move him to West Island 1.
Okay, we're gonna mute him. So I muted him. So just so you know,
All right,
Paul.
let's go to number 3.
All right, so he's got to introduce it. So let's give him a second.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's
here we
tied
go.
1-1. You ready?
Game on.
You ready, Kevin?
Did I win that one?
You did. I broke the tie. You won it. So
No, you didn't. It was a tie.
I
Thank
will
you,
go.
brother.
Kira, go back. Kira, check it out. It started
You
right.
should let him. You should let him vote on the Wardlow one to bring back the tie.
Oh yeah.
You actually have more. You see, this is the thing: is that you have more viewers now, and I think they would agree that Wardlow would fit in WWE as well as these guys, Hobbs and Cage. Thanks, Mick. Mick voted for me too. Ba-dum.
Kevin's got his entire family on the other side of that table. With
There's
their
no
phones ready,
family here. They're out of
frantically.
play. They're out of
He's
play.
got his dog.
Listen,
frantically
your
voting
daughter
If you
posted,
got a
I
vote
need a
from a
microphone,
Smokey,
and I
It's from
texted
the
her,
dog.
and I texted her, and I said, you can borrow Dean's. So maybe your daughter voted for me because I was nice to her today, and you probably weren't.
So either
You
way,
didn't
look,
buy her a
Mick
microphone.
Thompson-
I didn't speak to her yet. She's not home yet.
Mick Thompson
All right.
voted for me as well. So Kevin won.
Thank you. Number
Kevin-
3?
Your music ended 20 minutes ago. How is some people still voting?
Is this guy? This guy must be drinking some libations. All right, so we're going to number 3. Go ahead, Kevin.
Number 3.
You ready?
We're tied 1-1. Yep.
You ready?
You said yeah. You.
Ready.
Can you? Hey, can I get a Val Venus impression, Tony?
Hello, ladies.
And with that, we go to Jade Cargill.
Ooh.
Jade versus Charlotte. Jade versus Sasha. Jade versus Bianca. Bring her in NXT. Jade versus Raquel Gonzalez. Jade has the look that Vince likes. Jade can work. She does have a manager right now, but she doesn't need a manager. She is good on the mic. Jade is the up-and-coming next star in AEW. And if they do her dirty and they don't let her win this tournament, I would jump ship and go right and over to WWE, debut in the Rumble, and have a very lucrative career over there.
Ooh. Go ahead, Paul. He had some good points there. Let's go, Paul. Let's hear it.
Yeah, Jade Cargill's a great call. My biggest fear, though, is I would definitely say NXT. The look, yeah, but that girl cannot work anywhere near the level of any one of them that you rattled off. She's got to go to NXT.
They all
She's
have
gotta
to go
learn
through
how to work.
NXT. Yep.
What?
I think they
You're not
all
putting
have
that
to
girl
go
in the
through.
ring. You're not putting that girl in the ring with Becky, Charlotte, Sasha, or Bayley. No way. She'd be so exposed in a heartbeat. And her promos are not good at all. So if you're talking about taking her out of the higher profile spot she's in right now to put her in a developmental role over there to learn, yeah, and in a year or two, that girl would be incredible for WWE. Just I don't see it right now. Again, incredible look, definitely Vince's style. I could so see her on like a WrestleMania billboard. But not. She can't handle it in the ring. That's the problem. And I don't know that with the girls in WWE, with the level of talent that they have, those matches are legit. They have some of the best matches. Who cares whether it's girl or guy? They have some of the best matches in that company. And I don't think you can put a Jade Cargill in that situation. She'd get totally exposed. She can't go in the ring with. Yeah, you want to put her on a Monday Night Raw with Charlotte or something like that? Cool, but not in a pay-per-view status at all. She'd be embarrassed.
She might not be ready for the WWE style, and you might need to stick her in NXT for a tour to kind of learn and work at the Performance Factory. But her look and her star power, you don't like her in the mic. It goes back to Wardlow. Can you give her a script? Can she read it?
Potential though. I think she has good delivery. I could totally see her getting good on the mic.
I think that she's gonna be a bigger draw in a match of it's Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill versus Asuka, Jade Cargill versus Shayna Baszler, more so than Jade Cargill versus Serena Deeb.
But let's remember something. The discussion is better utilized in the WWE. Right now, Jade Cargill, in her current status of how she works, is better utilized in AEW because she's working with people that can work with her. She's not working main event pay-per-view. She's working regular televised matches. If you take her out and put her into NXT, you're taking her down a notch to go into NXT, which if this was the black and gold brand and this was a competitive company, that's one thing. That is strictly now a developmental, let's practice for TV. One day we'll bring you up. You can't take her and put her in on Raw or SmackDown in the ring with Charlotte. So you're not utilizing her. You can utilize her in the future, but you're not utilizing her the way she is right now.
Check your audio. Check your audio, Paul. Check your audio. Yeah. So we have another. I don't know what happened.
Am I good
now? You sound like you're in the Lincoln Tunnel.
Log out. Log out. And come back.
Do you have fancy white headphones like this?
No, I don't. I don't have fancy white headphones.
Back out and come back. Like leave and come
back.
All
right, I'm out of here.
He'll be back.
All right. Now that he left, let's talk about his surprise party. His birthday's May 20th. I'm just kidding. Anyway, he has a plan already for her going over and trying to give her a path to Charlotte, because Charlotte's the top dog over there, right? But if you have the proper writing and you debut her in the Rumble and she comes out looking like Kane and eliminates a bunch of people, can you hear me, Paul?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Right. Yeah. So I was saying, if you have the proper right, like you already have her on a path the way you would book her. And I'm saying if WWE got her, what I would do is I would debut her in the Rumble. I would let her, I would basically promote her as the free agent, kind of like Chelsea. They did with Chelsea Green a little bit. Like, which brand is she going to go to? NXT, Raw, SmackDown. If you wanted to keep her in NXT a little bit, that's fine. But if you book her like a monster and give her squash jobs on Aaliyah, on Liv, Natalia might help her work, because obviously, Natalia in that SmackDown, the Survivor Series match, just being on that team, it's because she's the the crispest worker there is. But booking those fantasy matches right away with Vince, he would utilize her correctly, and they have enough good coaches, and the girls in that locker room, with the exception of what Becky and Charlotte are going through right now, They seem to help each other out, just like everywhere else.
All right.
Now I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I don't see Jade as a monster. I see her as an athlete. Like, she looks athletic and she's, great that way. But like you said, you put her in the ring with a Rhea Ripley, with a Charlotte, with, even Natalia. I don't see her as monstrous or imposing. I think she fits the bill. So I don't know if I'm on board for. I like where you go, and she could dominate in a Rumble. Definitely not win it though, because if she wins it, she's painted into a corner. Now she's got to go work for a title that she can't win or she can't work for. So I don't know. I feel like it would be a very once again another very experimental thing. But you're sitting on top of who's the girl, the former champ over there, Raquel Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Raquel Gonzalez reminds me very much of her. That's a very great matchup. If you want to pair those two up to work against each other, but you have that gimmick already over in NXT waiting to pull the trigger. Raquel doesn't have the same look as Jade or anything else, but I don't think WWE's lacking in that dominant looking athlete. And so I don't know. I just like I said, to me, she's going to get downplayed over in WWE because she's not skilled enough yet. The look, absolutely. Just she doesn't have the ability yet. And the way you make it work with her, she's got to go into the top tier. She's got to make a statement, and she's going to make a statement without the actual skills behind her, and it's a game of catch-up. She's got to learn faster than what they're putting her out there to do, and you'd hope that she can pull that off.
Athletes usually do. She's an athlete.
I don't know if she's a Ronda Rousey athlete that can get it like that. She might be athletic. I don't know that she's got that ability. Kev, you know this as well as I do. We train guys from every walk of life. Not everybody gets it. Football players, hockey players, bouncers, cops. We trained everybody. It's not easy. You get people that have a wrestling background, gymnastics background, MMA background, like a Ronda Rousey. Things come a little bit more natural. But I don't know Jade Cargill's background. I know she was a basketball player, I think, or something like that, like really like high level. But I don't know how that plays into being put in a ring with Charlotte. So it doesn't really work for me that way. I think it's actually she would have to go into NXT over there, and that to me is a step down.
So once again, Kevin's pick is Jade Cargill. Take one more look at her. And the voting begins now. If you agree with Kevin, this was a tough one for me because to me, you guys both are making a lot of the same points. But it's going to be tough for the viewers to pick this one. I'm staying out of this one.
It's interesting. In those still frame shots, she looks great. But if we were showing video clips of her work, I don't know how great she would look compared to still frame shots.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. I was actually saying this a couple of days ago that she has exactly what you want to see when you look at her. But working wise, she makes a lot of mistakes with selling points. She doesn't sell at all. She's definitely green.
There's a reason why she's in a main spotlight character, but yet has minimal in-ring experience. You don't see her in the ring every week on AEW. You see promos. You might see a dark match or an elevation match here and there for practice, but you're not seeing her working every week in the ring like like a Chris Statlander, like some of these other girls, and like a Penelope Ford and people like that. And I think that's because she's not ready yet, and you don't want to expose her that she's not very good.
But NXT trains people the right way, and most of the guys that are the wrestlers in AEW that went through NXT, the training and everything, they became crisper. So I'm just saying, if you don't want her to go right to the main roster and you want her to go to NXT, but you're saying it's a step down, but she needs to get better, it's like you can't have your cake and eat it too. You have to give her. Well, you're the one saying you want to see her. I want to see her show up. I want to see her show up in the Rumble. I want to see her get the TBS title, and then because I think out of that entire tournament, she's the clear-cut right person to put a strap on. Okay.
Perspective.
Wait.
Soho?
Wait a minute. Stop.
What about Thunder Rosa?
Wait. Am I live? Wait 1 second.
You are live.
Did you go back to the first? Go back to the comment you said. You think she's the what? The first what? Kevin, you said you think she's the perfect one to do what?
I think she's the clear-cut. I think she's the clear-cut person in the tournament that I would put the title on. Only you.
Yep. Hey, listen.
I should win just for that, just for being the butt of that joke.
There's gotta be some comedy here. All right. So if you agree with Kevin, vote for Kevin. Agree with Paul, vote for Paul.
I already got 2 votes just because they couldn't hear Paul.
President Production, how you doing, man? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. All right. If you're here for the first time, Jada is green like Hulk boy. Wow.
She's green, but she'll get better in NXT.
I'm pretty sure that's my vote if you say she's green like that.
No, that's not your vote. She's green. You just said she's green, but if she goes to NXT, she's going to get utilized better. And she's going to learn. And then she's going to get promoted, and then she's going to start working matches with Ripley.
So you want the
Baszler
winner for the TBS title to go to developmental in WWE, and that's better utilized.
I want her to win the title for TBS. And what I said was, if they don't do that, she should jump ship and go over to WWE, and she will be utilized better. And you said NXT, and I said I agree with that. She's got the look. If you want to get her more crisp in the ring, yes, NXT is the right way to go. Because if you look at AEW's talent, Tommy End, Andrade, FTR, Chairman Spears, Pac, Moxley,
yes, but my point
they all went to NXT.
My point is,
Luchasaurus went to NXT.
Better utilized is not going to developmental at WWE. Everyone you just mentioned came from the black and gold NXT that does not exist anymore. It had been publicly stated it is a developmental brand now to train their new cookie cutter talent to only work their way. So you want to take somebody that is being which you think should be in a TBS championship title reign, and you want to throw them in WWE's version of developmental.
I think that she is
utilized.
Listen, I think that she is a star, and that if you are going to put a star on television to get ratings, okay, then you put a title on them, not a strap on, but a title on them, okay. The second,
but doesn't she have to defend the title?
Okay, so she can. All right, so she can work and drop the title. That's the there. You don't think that people have ever been like 2, 3, 4, 5-time TV champ or intercontinental champ?
I understand that. I don't understand the logic of.
The logic is she looks fantastic,
and one of the most
if she does
workers.
not win this tournament, I don't know where she goes from here in AEW. And if I was going to want to get utilized better, and I was her, I would jump ship and go to NXT and get the training. Or if they say, nah, you look too good, you're going to come up to the main roster and we're going to put you with Natalya. You won't learn trial by fire with Natalya? Are you kidding me? If you go on the Raw and they say, we want you to be Sasha Banks' bodyguard, you think she'd be okay? Because we just said the same thing about Wardlow. Wardlow was a bodyguard for MJF.
Yeah, but we're talking. But you're fantasy booking her. You're not booking her.
I'm fantasy booking everyone. I'm fantasy booking everyone for WWE. You call me twice a month with fantasy booking. Like for us at 50 years old, hey, you think maybe you could take a bump if it was a clothesline from this guy, and you're not getting paid for it, but maybe just for shits and giggles, your kid might want to see you take a bump. No, You do this all the time. I'm not.
You're way off course right now.
I
Way
know
off
I'm way
course.
off course. I'm doing inside jokes between us.
I
But
think
yes,
you're
I'm
missing the
fantasy
point,
booking.
though. You're missing the point.
I'm not missing
You're
the point. I'm
fantasy
literally
booking Jade
making my
Cargill.
point. I am
I think
fantasy booking
everyone can
Jade
agree.
Cargill, and I don't think, like you just said, if you don't think that she's going to win the TBS title tournament, okay, because you don't think she's as good enough of a worker, but she has the look to do it, and she doesn't have the working skills, I would, if I were her, I would jump ship, go to NXT, get better utilized in order to get to a main roster match against one of the people that are making millions. Becky
Do you know
Lynch
that
is
WWE?
making millions.
Do you know that WWE?
She's not making millions in AEW.
Do you know that WWE let go 170 wrestlers last year alone? I don't know how much faith I'd have being the green one, going to NXT to get trained to go to the main roster. That's everybody's goal. That's not rocket science. That's everyone's goal. Every woman or man over in NXT is training to go to the main roster to work the WrestleMania main event.
Mm-hmm.
And
Glad you said that. I'm glad you said that.
I believe WWE does not have in NXT as strong of a women's division as AEW has in NXT compared to AEW. I think I would never think
who do you think
I
has
would
the
never put the TBS title on her yet because she's way too green. You can use it for the main event and you can put her in the finals. I wouldn't put it on. You got Ruby Soho, you got Thunder Rosa,
Robbie Soho.
5, 4,
you got
3,
so many other
2,
talented people for that.
1. Jade.
So I don't know. I'm gonna go with a hard no on that one. I'd rather see her stay in AEW, get trained there. If she doesn't win a title in her first few months or the first year, good. She didn't win a title in the first year. That's where because she's green. The followers are saying she's green. That's how she learns. She's got to get better, a lot better.
Not only does this mean you're batshit crazy, but it also means you are talking in circles.
She's too green. I think
like
she's a step
like
down
Hulk
in
Boys.
NXT.
Both to your respective corners. I'm calling this one. Fight. These guys, I love it. All right.
The next one's gonna mess him up.
Oh yeah, I know. It's gonna mess me up. Let's get to the voting. So right here, it started right here. Where was it? Where was it? Sorry.
I think Mick and Will Rally Sport voted for me.
So
President Production said she has to look for WWE. I agree with NXT.
So we got two. We got one for Kevin. Hold on. We got two for Kevin. We got
Vito Lagrasso said everything that Paul says is bullshit. Don't listen to him. Kevin's right.
Who said that?
Vito Lagrasso.
Big Vito.
Hey, Robbie.
I'm making that up.
Hey, Robbie, welcome to the channel. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. First time I see you here.
Like.
Yeah, please like and subscribe and vote. So right now we got two for Kevin, and I don't see a vote for Paul yet.
I can't see the comments, so keep me posted.
I did.
Okay, so you're losing 2-0 on this one right here, Paul. So let's get these votes in, everybody. Right now, Kevin's up 2-0. 1, 2. Wait, so President Productions is actually agreeing. Jade is green. He is green with both of you, but he isn't voted because he said he's green like you said, Paul, and he said he agrees he's going to NXT. Paul, you said NXT, but Kevin said WWE. So, but he said
it's the same company.
But wait, we were deciphering this earlier, right? Now, did we say there was one company, or were they separate entities? Because
it's the same company.
Okay, well, we'll judges.
NXT is the same company as Raw as it is SmackDown. We agree that there's a main roster and a farm system.
One's developmental, the other two are main rosters.
But it's all still WWE.
NXT is developmental, right? So, President Productions, who are you voting for, Kevin or Paul? Robbie, who are you voting for, Kevin?
That's a lot happening right now.
Yeah, it's a lot.
There's a lot.
I will say I'm very happy with my cell phone right now that it has not dropped once.
Awesome.
Big things happening.
You got 30 seconds to vote. We're waiting on Ravi.
We only have
and
5 on the chat.
Productions to vote. No, we got more than that. You can't see what I can see.
He's voting for Paul. He just said it. He said he just voted. President Productions voted for Paul. President Productions, NXT is development for WWE. But before that, he said, I agree with NXT.
Thank you, President Productions.
She has to look for WWE. But he also said, Jade is green like Hulk boys.
She might get fired in WWE. Yeah, that's true. Ramos, Chrissy, welcome back. She's back. Vote for Kevin and Paul. Kevin, you're up 2-1 in this round right
I'm
now.
up 2-1. Do we need 3 votes for the win? Let me see.
We'll see.
We're just making up rules as we go along.
Just so you guys know, I'm my own personal Paul Heyman back here. Okay, showing off the titles, the YouTube Championship, and of course the TWF Championship. Okay, Bobby, thank you very much. Bobby, let's hear some.
What up, Bobby?
Oh, we got another Kevin. Kevin Flynn. We're gonna cite you right here.
Yeah, what are we throwing a flag on that?
Yeah, if you vote for yourself again, we're gonna take a point away from you. Okay? Thank you very much.
He voted for himself 3 times tonight.
Twice.
So Kevin right now, but Paul, I just want to hear just very briefly, because Bobby missed this. What was your reasoning that Jade should stay?
Jade is extremely green, and I think she fits better in the women's division of AEW. And if she was to go over to WWE, would be going to NXT, which is developmental. So for me, that is a step down. So that is not better utilized as she's stepping down. If Jade was talented enough, I would love to see her go into the ring with a Charlotte, a Sasha, a Becky, but she's not. So you can't put her there. So you're basically taking her out of the higher profile spot she has at AEW, working very slowly, not putting her in all the matches, utilizing her well, and not exposing her. And if you don't do that and she goes to WWE, she goes to NXT and she's basically in developmental, which basically is a step down and you lose all of her positive attributes.
Kevin, real quickly, why should she go?
I just don't understand the line of thinking that she loses positive attributes. The main roster is the goal, and you got to go through NXT to get there. If you go through NXT, you become a better worker, a crisper worker. You come up with your catchphrase, you come up with your gimmick and your finisher. You learn how to work with the girls. You build a better relationship with the girls, and everybody tries to climb up the ladder of success to get there. She's going to have talent. I'm talking.
Oh.
She looks fantastic. She walks into NXT. If she's in developmental, they go back to the drawing board and realize that Triple H was right. You do have to bring in some free agent acquisitions to make the brand believable and marketable again. You can bring her in. She can work with Dakota Guy. She can work with Mandy. She can work with Raquel Gonzalez. We had said, listen, there's other girls that are up and coming. Zoe Stark is she's got a good physique. She's a power lifter. The other girl in the Diamond Mine, Tony, I can't remember her name.
I can't either. But Diamond Mine chick.
Evelyn, something like that.
Here's look it up.
But again, that is being put on a path to the main roster to work the money matches against Ripley, against Baszler, against Banks, against Lynch, and against Charlotte.
All right,
you have to be put on that path to get to that point. And that's how you become utilized better. If she stays in AEW, if she's green and she stays in AEW, you do not know if she's going to wallow in misery and get better unless she's working.
But you don't know if she's
full-time matches with. But you're giving her.
That doesn't make any sense.
It absolutely does. You're giving her the opportunity
to
become a better wrestler, and that physique will make her more marketable than anywhere else.
That made no sense. She can't. You're saying that she could wallow in AEW, but she'll go from NXT to the main roster. There's no guarantee she's going to the main roster.
Wow. These two guys are going to
I can't read these things.
These are awesome. All right.
I can.
So, Bobby, real quick, Bobby, what do you think about Bernie?
It's great point, but I agree with Paul more
Why?
because there's too many risks of going to WWE. One, what if she doesn't go to the main roster? Two, she gets
Ivy
buried.
Nile. That's her name. Thank you. Thank you, Will.
The fans don't like her in WWE. So I don't know. There's too many risks.
Oh, you mean like a monster heel she would work as?
Yeah, but what he's saying is that she risked coming over from AEW, a main roster show, to go to developmental, which is looked at.
I'm not saying she's going to developmental. Paul is saying she goes to developmental. I'm saying she debuts in the Rumble and immediately shows up on Raw. He's saying, well, she's not going to have any good matches because she's green.
What's going to
saying
happen
that
if she
Vince
goes in the
is going
Rumble?
to.
She doesn't. She's green. She's going to get exposed.
Listen, you are saying she might get exposed, but she might actually be better working over there with actual talent that will carry her and work with her and make her a star. So they become stars together. And
Are you saying she's not working with talent in AEW?
She's definitely not working with the talent in AEW that WWE has right now in the female division. Listen, she has not come anywhere near Britt, and Britt is the best one. Okay, she has not come anywhere near Britt. If you told me she was working, she's been working with Red Velvet, and that's been her feud.
That's it. That's it. Ring the bell. Ring
number two.
Ring the bell.
There's no way.
Thank you, Bobby.
Okay, so I this is getting heated. Listen, I like it. So I'm just trying to see what's going on. She would end up like Eva Marie if she was main roster green. All right, so let's get the votes here. So Bobby voted for Paul. That one counts, Kevin, just so you know. But you're up still, Kevin. You're up one. Mick, you can't vote 8 times. I'm waiting on a few votes. What did President say?
President said Paul.
Okay, that's 1-1. Excuse me, that's 2-1.
Will said Kevin.
Right, so that's 2-1. Let's see my favorite brand on
Vito said Kevin.
Where's Vito? I don't see Vito.
Kevin's making that up.
Where's Vito? Like, there's no Vito. I know Vito, but he's not here. So right now we got Kevin 2, Paul 1. You guys can vote.
I have 2. I have Bobby and I have President Production.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh, your math is mind blowing.
Kira's checking. My bad.
Jade Cargill is 100% better in the ring than Eva Marie. Thank you, Will. I appreciate that.
Right there, Ruby Soho's 1.
It all started with. Yeah, Kev. That's a great pick.
That Kevin
Brian O'Dell really is the last person to vote here. It's all good, Brian. Who do you think Jade Cargill would do really, really well in WWE? That's all we're kind of voting on right now.
Kira's tallying right now, guys. Guys, we love the comments. Make sure you just before you comment, just just type the person's name, Paul or Kevin. That way we can count the votes. And don't vote more than once because we have to keep scrolling.
But you got Brian O'Dell is in the room. And if you explain to Brian that Kevin thinks Jade Cargill would do better in WWE than she's currently doing in AEW versus Paul's talking in circles.
Brian, he's going to sell you a car
she's
next.
Green, but she's got to go to NXT, but she's got to get better, but she's not really great. I'm sorry. You just keep ringing this bell.
Someone's got to get control of this, okay?
All
right, we'll get
Pandemonium is next, brother.
Yeah.
Here comes the spine buster.
Who's got it here? Oof.
All right, let Kira tally it. Let's go to number 2.
Yeah, so she tallied. So Kevin got this one. Kevin beat you by 1. So he leads now 2-1.
All right.
Paul, you got to win this one. You've got to win this one, Paul. Paul, you got to your back's against the wall.
Get yourself a shovel. You're in deep shit.
All right. Now, Kevin, when you introduce this one, I want you to lead up to it. Don't just okay?
You got it.
And Paul, listen, I'm not trying to push this but you got to win this one, bro. All right? We want you to go the distance. Go ahead, Kevin. Who is your number 2?
So, in WWE land, there is one name that has risen above all. He is the standard. He is the most marketable guy, and he has become everything that Vince wanted him to be. And he is just carrying the SmackDown brand on network television with Fox. And he is the head of the table. He is the Universal Champion. He has the best manager in Paul Heyman, and he's got a tag team behind him. And those are his cousins, the Usos. We are talking Roman Reigns. Okay. And my lead in is the biggest story in wrestling this year was the one guy who came out of retirement from professional wrestling because of all of the shit that experience that he had in WWE, and that is CM Punk. I am just saying, if CM Punk came back to wrestling, and I'm not saying that he would be, he's not going to do amazing things in AEW, but what I am saying is, if his return to wrestling came through WWE, he would have achieved his lifetime goal of main eventing WrestleMania, and the match would have been against Reigns. Because Heyman is in the picture, because the WWE could not quell the amount of hype and emotion from him coming back. I mean, the crowds were chanting his name after he retired for years. He would absolutely become the most over person in the building, in any building, in the company. They could not stop the momentum. If he came back to wrestling and came in the Royal Rumble, won the Rumble, never wrestled a match, just came out on the mic week after week, calling Roman Reigns the prototype guy that Vince has built, had him in his pocket, pulled back the curtain a little bit, it would have been ratings gold, especially for Fox. He came back doing, on FS1 for a little bit with Fox Now with the show, and I honestly thought that he had a shot. If he came back, he would have won the Rumble, and he would have main evented Mania. Anybody that makes a comeback like that, Daniel Bryan, Edge, they did it before. They make a comeback, the momentum can't be stopped. CM Punk would have dwarfed those guys.
Paul.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
Wait.
Wow. This is. Here we go.
You lose this, you're out. Let's go.
Let's separate fact from fiction first. His run with Fox Network was because he adamantly refused to work with WWE, and his contract was only with Fox. WWE then restricted the WWE contracted workers that were on Fox, so the interaction was horrible between them because he couldn't say everything he wanted to do in a $1 billion deal. Then you take the reality of CM Punk's exact words were the place that made me sick. So we're going to take the real life situation of CM Punk and throw it to the side so the fantasy booking of Bates can portray him in a better light. CM Punk is not Edge. Edge was a lifer. Edge spoke to Tony Khan. Edge was offered a contract to go to AEW. Edge said, no, thank you. I'm going back to WWE. Edge had the greatest, probably one of 2 or 3 greatest returns ever in WWE at the Royal Rumble. There is no version of this story outside of absolute fantasy that CM Punk works in the WWE. And that's the real life story from CM Punk. There was nothing about WWE, not any amount of money. Those are his words, not my opinion. His quote was, "No amount of money. There was no blank check that I'm going back to that company." And Tony Khan, the conversation, it wasn't just Tony Khan picking up the phone and calling him. It was Punk starting to follow AEW on his own, sitting in his own living room watching their show, watching what was developing, and falling back in love with something that he did, and realizing that if I was ever going to do this, it has to be by his standards alone that Tony Khan agreed to. There's no way in the world, no one, not The Rock, not Austin, not John Cena, that is walking into the WWE saying, "I'll work here by my standards and I make all my decisions." It's never going to happen anymore. That has been said from the highest names of the WWE. There will never be another Cena. There will never be another worker that is bigger than the company. That is why WrestleMania is going to be a destination program. It's WrestleMania. It's not the main events anymore. It's WrestleMania. It's Survivor Series. It's not about that. Roman Reigns will never be bigger than WWE. Seth Rollins won't be. Nobody will be. No one's ever going to be The Rock again. No one's ever going to build it so big and leave. CM Punk would never, ever, and again, his words, not mine, would never go there unless he had absolute total creative control of what he did, what he said, who he worked. Never going to happen in WWE, ever. So everything.
Not to cut you off, I'm gonna let you finish. I just want to say this before he leaves. You can't see this, Paul, but the comment down there says, "Wow, this is a blast from the past. Nice to see all three of you on one screen." Do you know who that is, Paul?
Is that say Little Anthony? Is that what it says? I'm pretty sure the last time we all saw him together, he had a mohawk because he lost a bet to me. Pretty sure about that.
I think the last time I saw him, I put him on a train.
You might have shot him in the face with a paintball.
And before that, I think he wore Craig's Jesus Christ Superstar jacket. Or maybe it was...
No, I think he shot him in the face with a paintball the next day.
That's probably true.
Paul, finish your point.
Okay, so there really is no point to me. You know, the reality of what we're saying is Kevin's going to fantasy book CM Punk, even though CM Punk is saying no chance in hell. Not going to happen.
I love the fact
that there's
Paul
no real debate to even be had.
I love the fact that Paul is poo-pooing fantasy booking, and last week all he did was fantasy book WWE guys going to AEW.
I would fantasy book the hell of it, but I would never touch CM Punk fantasy booking him. Not going to happen.
Again, all I'm saying is if he came back to wrestling, if he did, I'm not saying he was gonna. I'm not saying he should if he was that miserable. But if he came back to wrestling and he made amends and was able to basically write his story like Brock Lesnar does. So don't make it like this has never happened before. Brock Lesnar did.
Brock's not writing his story.
Brock Lesnar has creative control over what he wants to do.
No, he does not.
He absolutely does.
Creative control.
He absolutely
Brock does not have creative control. Not
really?
100%.
Okay.
All right. This is mine. Wait a minute. Kevin, you're wrong in this one. He does not have creative control.
He has creative input, not creative control.
He controls when he comes and goes.
Vince McMahon signs off on everything.
He doesn't. He controls when he comes and goes. He doesn't control what his character does. So continue.
He doesn't even control when he comes and goes. He's contracted to select amount of days. Incredible contract. Only has to show up a few times, but he has to show up when they show up, and he's going to do what Vince says he does.
That's true.
Which, again, not what CM Punk is going to do. Never going to happen.
But
so again, we're talking about not fantasy booking. We're not talking about fantasy booking. We're talking about better utilized in the WWE. So Tony Khan utilized CM Punk the way he did.
No. Stop. How could you possibly ever be better utilized than main eventing WrestleMania against the champion? Which is what he has wanted his whole life. If he showed up and walked in, he would end up doing that. That would sell WrestleMania left and right. And you can't tell me that it's a destiny, that WrestleMania is a destination event now. Okay, that they don't worry about WrestleMania main events. Because I'm going to tell you right now, everyone in the world right now is clamoring for The Rock to come back to face Roman Reigns and
And do
hoping
you
that
think that's going to sell it out? That's not determining whether it sells out or not. WrestleMania is selling out regardless.
It'll sell out pay-per-view buy rates and shit like that all the time.
It's going to sell out.
It'll get Peacock people to buy Peacock.
Where is it?
To see that event. There's
Refer to
no
that
way.
guy. Refer to that guy. Tony is going to WrestleMania because Tony goes to WrestleMania. Whether Rock shows up, whether Roman Reigns is there, whether Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, anybody shows up, Tony's going to WrestleMania because it's WrestleMania. That's what ends up happening with this. And the reality of it is, you talk about CM Punk and how his favorite thing in the world would be at WrestleMania. The guy was pissed off and not happy when he got to work against The Undertaker because he did not have the creativity that he wanted. It wasn't what he wanted to do. It wasn't the way he liked it.
I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna end this, and then we can go right to the vote, okay? Because you keep saying the same thing. Did Bret? Oh my God! Oh shit! Did you see that, Tony?
No, what did it say?
John Morrison got released. Hit Row got released.
There you go.
They just had a whole bunch of breaking news.
Jade Cargill, go over to WWE. It's a really safe environment. You'll last a long time there.
Look at you, douchebag. You lost that one, and now all of a sudden.
Are you guys serious?
Yo,
I
don't know. I'm not
Tony, Bleacher Report right now.
Get me everything. This is what we're gonna do. All right, look, everybody vote. Everybody vote. We have to make another. Kira, do this. We have to make another stream.
They just did it. They waited for Thursday, so they're not on Friday, right?
All right, here we go.
Hold on.
Can we do another one?
Where are we? WWE.
Kira, make a new broadcast. We're gonna do this. Keep going here. We're gonna make another broadcast, and we're gonna switch the. Just keep going with this. You know what to do, right?
Just make sure you fact check this, so you're not throwing out information that's not true.
No. Okay, so I'm looking at it on Bleacher Report. So this is Bleacher Report. It basically says WWE has released 8 members of its roster: John Morrison, all of Hit Row, Top Dollar, Ashanti Adonis, and Isaiah Scott.
Yeah, it's right.
Drake Maverick.
Jason. Yes, we got to get on here. Okay. Holy Jesus.
Does any of that bother any of you guys?
Yeah, it bothers me.
Does it?
So Hit Row. Why did you bring him up to SmackDown? If you were going to release, like you released B-Fab in the last one, why would you bring up Hit Row and draft them and then release all 4 of them in 2 separate?
Guys, you keep talking. I got to do this. Go.
Because the way the process that works over there is that it's NXT is run by management of NXT. Then they bring them to the main roster where they get under the supervision of Vince. Vince watches them and then makes his decision. Now, this goes behind the scenes into management. Vince might turn around and be like, what the hell do you keep sending me these guys for? Vince doesn't like them, but that's what's happening. Everybody wanted to blame Triple H for saying like, oh, no, you had all these indie workers and you trained them to run your own promotion and it wasn't training them to be for the main roster. Well, you still have these guys and you're bringing them to the main roster. Karrion Kross, Keith Lee. You bring them all up there and they don't work the way Vince wants or the gimmick Vince doesn't like it and decide, yep, let's move on. Not to mention the budget cuts they're going to save on some of these salaries. I'm sure John Morrison, when he came back, what was that, like a year or so ago? I'm sure he had a nice little contract coming his way. But again, a John Morrison and me, he'll go back to an Impact or, not Ring of Honor, that is gone. But I don't want to see John Morrison in AEW, honestly. I think go to Impact, go to MLW, something like that. None of those people do it for me.
He was better in Glow than he was on Impact.
Yeah, I'm not.
You know what I mean?
It does that whole everything he did with the Miz. To me, it brought down the Miz. The Miz to me should be upper echelon. That guy can do so much stuff, whether it's character-wise, entertainment-wise, and he's very good in the ring. So whether you want to work him, he is
I will
one
say
step below a Randy Orton to me.
there's one report here that would put a smile on my face, especially after last week's beatdown. It seems like Walter is moving to the United States.
Did you hear that when they did their tour, I guess like last week or the week before, they were overseas. I guess they were in like I don't know if they were in Ireland or wherever they were, and they brought some of the NXT talent over there. They had a Walter Sheamus match that they said was one of the greatest, hardest hitting matches ever.
Listen,
Walter, it ended up being Walter, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, and somebody else. Ended up being like a 4-way.
Cesaro was in there too. So Cesaro and Walter worked.
I would love to see that.
Dude, listen, I love Sheamus. I think Sheamus is one of the most underrated individuals out there.
Yeah.
He world titles and U.S. titles, and I don't like the facial gimmick, but I think he's a good dude. You know what I mean? Like I just think everybody gets along with him. But he's got some stiff chops and stuff. And
God, can you imagine doing AEW? Like working that style with those guys, hitting hard like that? I would love to see that. But Sheamus and with some of those Japanese wrestlers.
Yeah. That's the, there's some of this is all about like, I don't know how you promote Tomohiro Ishii last night. And then, when you got guys like, Ricky Romero on the sideline. I think Ricky Romero's a decent worker.
That's all. But that's all behind the scenes business transactions. They got all these working relationships with all the other companies. You got to give them their time because those guys are also going to go to Japan and they're going to work in those promotions. So I get it, but this is the problem.
All right, guys. Sorry, Paul, to cut you off, but listen, I want everybody to vote because we got to get one more in because we're going to have another show at 10 o'clock for the releases. So right now, I'm doing the count and Joey Z, subscribe, please, and hit the like.
I think I'm going to concede that Paul won CM Punk because I don't think anybody out there would agree.
You got one vote, and that was Mick Thompson. So we're 2-2, everybody. We're 2-2.
Going to the number one. I can't wait to see your number one.
All right, I think you know who my number one is.
I have no idea.
We've discussed it. You ready?
Did we?
Yeah.
I struggled with this whole topic.
I think Lance Archer is definitely the guy that's going to WWE at some point in time, and he'll become a monster. The Murder Hawk he is too big. He's got such a good gimmick, such a good look. Bring Jake if you want. If you need him on the mic, I don't care. We had a conversation basically about his move off the top rope the other night, and he worked. And I think if he goes to WWE, Vince would squash that. But he's got to be the guy, the one free agent that I think Vince is drooling over. And I'm really, I don't think I have to say anymore because I think his gimmick, they'd work on T-shirts. He could match up with anybody. I think, you give him time to work with McIntyre and Orton and get him to the main event with Reigns. I think he'll be fine. I know I'm gonna stop talking because you're gonna probably take up the rest of the hour before the 10 o'clock time. So, and my kids, Dean and Casey are gonna walk in from the play any minute. So, I'm
honestly,
just gonna
there's not a whole lot to say about it. It's a real interesting pick because I'm a fan of his. I don't know what's not clicking yet. He seems to be, even in AEW, something seems to be clicking. It's not working with him all the time. And my biggest concern is that he's had a relationship and deals with WWE multiple times in his career, and they've never wanted to pull the trigger on him. So I don't know what's that different except for his AEW gimmick. And I think they would have to repackage and change the way he carries himself in that gimmick. So I don't know. I guess we'll leave it up to the viewers. I think he's a good pick, but I definitely don't think he's a great pick. So I guess we'll have to see where that goes. Like I said, he's had multiple contract negotiations and actually been signed with them a few times in the past where they never did anything outside of a developmental deal with him, never moved them up, used them for a bunch of random things. I don't know. I just don't know that he fits with those guys yet. Did we lose Kev completely?
Oh, we lose Kevin?
I think we did.
Everybody, just in case you're watching, there's going to be another stream at 10 o'clock about the releases because I'm trying to get different viewers to come in so to change hashtags and change everything. So, Paul, let's go back real quick to CM Punk. When I saw it, I was like, what is he doing? I was like, that's it. I said, he just put a nail in his own coffin. Now, with this one right here, this is a tough one.
Yeah, it is.
He would have beaten you. He would have beaten you if he didn't pick CM Punk. I think he could have picked anybody else and just coasted. But I think now people are starting to second guess Kevin's, his common sense.
You know what it is, though? We have to remember what we're talking about. What is the definition of better utilized? To me, that means give me the person and the character. I'm going to do a better job with them. But we have to put a time frame on that. I'm like a Jade Cargill. I'm not going to do a better job of Jade Cargill because either way, she's got to learn. So if she's in AEW and they're putting her in what perceives to be a higher echelon on their show, but they're not exposing her in her inexperience, that's a good way to utilize her. I don't think WWE does that. I think WWE either puts her in developmental, which brings her stock down, or you put her out there with the Charlottes and she gets exposed, and now you just blew your whole opportunity because the girl's not going to be able to keep up with them. So I guess the idea is, what is the definition of better utilized for people? Like I said, to me, it was more about taking one talent, bringing them over, using that talent in their current state the best way you can, not to fantasy book them hypothetically. So CM Punk was a no-brainer. There's no way that works. And that's not an opinion. That's that guy's reality. So to fantasy book CM Punk against his own reality just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, when I saw him do that, I'm trying to give him time to come back. I was in utter shock. I was like, what? I said, this would never happen on anybody's planet ever.
I understood where he's coming from. Kevin believes that entrance that we saw in Chicago on AEW, that if you had seen that in the Royal Rumble on WWE, that it would have been even more monumental because it's a bigger stage, so to speak. But it's not about that one moment. It's about better utilizing a talent inside the company. Where do you go from there? What are you going to do? Okay, you want to headline WrestleMania with Roman Reigns, but you're gonna hand him a script. He's not going to speak from the heart. You're going to tell him to go in there and do the job for Roman, just like they do with Sting. You bring Sting in, icon after 25 years of never signing. You brought him in, and you did a goofy gimmick in WrestleMania with it. So I would never trust WrestleMania to do the right thing. So on the final number one with Lance Archer, it's a toss-up. I don't know that AEW's hit it out of the park with Lance Archer yet, but I think he stands a much better chance of being successful with AEW than he does at WWE.
Yeah, I don't know what to do right here because we lost Kevin. So we're tied 2-2. I don't want him not to be able to come back. But listen, everybody listen up. This has been crazy. I'm trying to get up another video as one's on. So right now we're at 9:50. At 10 p.m. Eastern, we're going. I want you guys to join me. So hit the notification button right now because in 10 minutes, we're going to talk about all the superstars that just got released. Bleacher Report reported it. I'm trying to jump on this before all the other YouTubers get on it. I already see 200 already, but I'm the one that has hashtags. So, guys, jump in 9 minutes. We'll be having another live show. Paul, Lance Archer.
Hey, just before you say that,
Yeah.
doesn't the guy bailing out of the show make me win by forfeit alone?
Well, this is my thing about him. Let's do a quick commercial. You guys need printing done? Sorry. You guys need printing done? Plasma printing. Timothy Odell. Here's his prices. There's his email. timothyplasma@gmail.com. Venmo, Cash App. He does great work. The reason why I know this is because I'm going to WrestleCade next week. These are my CM Punk photos. I don't want to take them out the plastic. These are great prices. As you can see, they're up there. As well as another one of CM Punk. I said CM Punk. Of Too Cold Scorpio, excuse me. Right? Awesome. And then, I am the tantalizing one. Where's mine? I am the YouTube champion. So, of course, that's right. That's me, your boy, right there. That's right, with both times. Because I am your YouTube champion and the TWF World Heavyweight Champion. So back to you, what you were saying now.
Hey, producer Kira, don't I have some history with Too Cold Scorpio? Don't we got some documented footage of Too Cold myself from back in the day, probably 27 years ago, something like that? I know she's working on it. Anyway, to my point, listen. The bottom line is this. These debates are a lot of fun. I think it's safe to say I beat Kevin in that last one because, he bailed out anyway. So that's forfeit alone. And I think that we have a lot of upcoming ideas we were talking about coming soon. Some stuff you definitely want to stay tuned for. Some stuff you're really going to enjoy coming up in the near future between us all.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, Kira's looking for the picture right now. We have so many slides. So many pictures, so many graphics. So she's checking it. I'm the host of this show, and I don't know what to tell you. Listen, people know that me and you are friends and we're close. But if I thought you lost, I would just tell you that, hey, listen, wait till Kevin can come back. But I'm going to make an executive decision here because it's called the Tantalizing Tony Wrestling Show, which means it's my show. The CM Punk pick alone should have Kevin's wrestling card taken away.
Pull his card? Don't pull his card.
Listen, here's the thing about
Just give him a warning.
Warning, bro. A 3-minute warning? I get it. Here's the thing about that pick. It wasn't just that it was – I understand where he was going, but he more fantasy booked than explained what would be the benefit of him going there. And what would it do? There it is. It just made no sense.
Yeah, which is the definition of better utilized. We can all fantasy book all day long, great, but we'll do a show on fantasy booking. That would be a lot of fun. Maybe we'll come up with our best fantasy booking idea. There we go.
Look at that. That kid's good, bro. So from left to right, Showtime Brian Bosher.
Yep.
The man of 1,000 holds, Dean Malenko.
Yep.
Skip that Hobbit.
What?
We speak his name here. Chris Benoit.
Don't skip me. I'm in there. I didn't have a beard, and I had a hat on my head.
Mikey Whipwreck. Storm Mike Norman. Tommy Dreamer. Who is this chick?
Her name was Bella.
I remember Bella. Now I remember Bella. Yeah,
yep. She was like worked at ECW or something like that.
Yeah, forget her. And of course, the guy who they say I look like, Too Cold Scorpio. I think because he's black. And then once again, everybody, if you've never seen a premature Hobbit, there you go, right there. There is the Hobbit right there. Premature giant killer.
I believe that was 1994. 94 or 96. I don't know.
It was 94. It was 94.
94?
Yes, because I remember why I didn't make it here. This is right around the time Jasmine was born, and I couldn't make it.
All right, yeah.
It was 94.
Yep. An honorable mention.
She's born
honorable mention to Mr. Joe Rules, number 500 in the PWI 500, who is passed out in the bathroom when this photo is taken.
Right. Yeah. Listen, this was great times back then, man. Real quick story before we get to the 10 o'clock hour, Paul. Do you remember when we followed Kevin Sullivan and woman back to their? We were in the same hotel. We followed them back to the room. It was a double. There was an outside hotel in Philly. They used to go up the stairs outside, and we followed them through another doorway, and so we could meet them as they were coming out. So we ran all the way around, and as they were coming out, we said, "Oh, it's you guys."
Coincidentally, it's the Ring Crew.
Do you remember when Sensational Sherry gave me a kiss on the cheek, and then she says, "You guys," so when she kissed me, and then I said, "Well, I need to know." When I turned and she kissed me on the lips, and I almost fell out and fainted. Oh my God, Sensational Sherry!
You can't say stuff like that now because you can get sued for harassment 30 years after the fact. You can't say stuff like that.
No disrespect to Sherry, but is she gonna Me Too me?
It's messed up. You can't say stuff like that.
What? This is my show.
Well, listen, to your point, for all your followers,
yes,
they're like we've said before, 30 years of history. That's why we call ourselves the Ring Crew. It's a play on words, man. Because we were legitimately ECW Ring Crew. But now, 30 years later, with all of our history, we were kids in the backyard wrestling. We were trained wrestlers. We were independent wrestlers. We were Ring Crew. We wrestled for ECW. Mikey Whipwreck went on to wrestle for WCW, become a worldwide name. Our next generation over at NYWC. There's a lot of history there, so it's a lot of fun when we get a chance to talk to people like this and share our stories.
Yeah, and Paul, I got to tell you once again, it's always a pleasure talking to you. I'm gonna just tell you right now who, I'm not gonna demonetize me for that. I didn't say anything. Come on, that was a joke. I've heard a lot worse on this channel, on YouTube. I just want to put it out there. I know it's gonna be anticlimactic, but you were tied to too. But I gotta give you the last win, not because he's not here. He gets a point away from putting CM Punk in as number 2,
and he voted for himself like 8 times the whole night.
So he gets deducted, and as they say in the Royal Rumble, Kevin Bates has been eliminated. So, Paul, you are the winner. In the bouts going with you two now, it's tied 1-1. So we need a tiebreak. Oh, is that Tyson?
Yeah, Tyson, say hi.
Let me ask you a question. Rory Raggy. So now he's kissing you because
because I won.
Your mouth is your gift and your career. Let's be real. Nothing against Sensational Sherry, but I did kiss her. She kissed me, and it was consensual. It wasn't non-consensual. She kissed
me. Not consensual. You did not have a conversation ringside during a match that it was consensual.
She kissed me on the cheek, and then I turned, and she kissed me on the lips, and she asked me, "Hey, you like it?" I said, "Yeah." Can I get some more? She told me no. So the point is this: she shot me down, but I shot my shot. What's wrong?
All right. Very good. Very good for you.
There's no footage of this. If anybody tries to Me Too me on this, I'm telling you right now, we're going to have a problem.
Can we get that? Can we get that for next week? Can Kira find you getting chokeslammed by 911 for next week? I'm not talking pictures. I'm talking video. I want to see the video of you getting chokeslammed and flopping around like a fish on the floor.
You want to see
over and over again.
You want to see me no boost. That's what it is. You want to see me no boost. I sold it though.
I believe Mikey Whipwreck calls that the dropped pie bump. You look like you were a dropped pie.
I was getting a little heavy then. But listen, Paul, you won. It's 9:59. I'm about to. Hey guys, hit the like, hit the notification because I'm going live in another minute on the other channel. Paul, I want to thank you for coming on as always. You won. You would have won anyway without him getting knocked out. You had that one. The Lance Archer thing was a little suspect too. The first 3, bro, it was a good debate back and forth. But right there, the CM Punk. Wait, wrong graphic. Wrong.
Little Ant, where are you? Little Ant.
Huh?
I'm saying goodbye to Little Ant. He's over there saying hi to him.
All right, we're ending the show, guys. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Take care, brother.
See you in a minute, everybody. We're going to the next channel. Stay here, subscribe, like, everything. Hit it. All right. I'll see you guys in 30 seconds. Do what I do best, and that's ha-ha.